Hello, everyone. I'm Sharon Ann Klingler here for your Akashic Tarot reading today and for your mini lesson as well. You know what, it's kind of funny because I wanted to ask the cards, what should I do the lesson on this week? But let me draw the reading cards first. And the reading cards kind of told me what to do the lesson on because the cards that we got for the reading are kind of displaying a little bit of a challenge. Our lives are not just a piece of cake. We have lessons and karma and evolutionary processes, indeed revolutionary processes to move through and to experience and to take ourselves to a higher experience of our power and our grace and our fortitude. So when I pulled these 5 cards here for today's reading, I was actually going to pull 3 cards. And as I've said before in our mini readings before, and in the Akashic workshop, that if you pull 3 cards and you don't have, not the answer that you want, but if you need more information, you can add a few more cards. And that's why I did. So I was going to pull 3 and I added a couple more. So here we are with the original reading that we got today. The first one is winter upright. And of course, the card of winter, it's winter for most of us here everybody in the upper hemisphere. The northern hemisphere, I should say. But it's also a time of quiet, a time of peace, and a time of receptivity and yielding and yin. And so automatically right from the get, this reading is saying it's not a time for you to just make take huge action in initiating and new projects. It's time to be more contemplative and thoughtful and restful. And following that, we get the Willow reversed, which the Willow card is the card of strength and flexibility combined. And to understand our strength through the emotions here that we see through the waters. Now, upturned, the Willow card actually is indicative of moving through a phase where our sense of strength is kind of eluding us. And sometimes even when the Willow's cards gets reversed, we might start to get positional. And because perhaps for the very reason that we feel in some way vulnerable because we don't feel as strong as we need to. Wow, these are challenging cards, are they not? And then, of course, I put the next card out, bingo, is the clearing the way, which isn't a bad card. There is their homeland, and the tree has fallen on the path, and he's getting out his axe and ready to clear the way. So while it does show an indication, it does indicate a situation of some obstruction or obstacles that are in your path, it certainly shows the ability to clear the way as well with some effort. And so here we are in a path of challenges, some obstructions, not feeling as strong as we might. And then we have the Ascent card reversed. Holy moly, you guys. The Ascent card reversed is the card of, certainly it's an ascent. If you see it upright, he's just ascended the mountain and climbed to his highest place. But in the reversal, it feels as if sometimes the things that you're looking to achieve, or if not unavailable to you, they might be more difficult to acquire, more difficult to manifest, okay? But all of that moves into the Divine Physician reversed, another reversal. This is not a bad reversal, you guys. The Divine Physician is the healing card. And here he is bringing healing to this person and to all those around him. And the Divine Physician is heals through light and words and an inner response to our power, to our sense of power. So all of this converges in the Divine Physician reverse, which actually I want to assure everyone, when you get the divine physician reversed, it doesn't mean that healing won't take place, shan't take place, or couldn't take place. It indicates that there's something that you can do to heal either yourself or indeed this situation is available to you, and you haven't learned about that yet, or started that yet, or taken action in that yet, which makes sense to me because, of course, we're in the winter time, which is non-action. We're not feeling quite as strong as we are. We're feeling as something is obstructing our movement, and the things that we wish to achieve aren't as available. Wow, this is why this took me into exactly what our lesson is supposed to be. What the heck do you do when you get cards that have just a series of, and again, if you notice, there isn't a black card in the bunch, okay? So this is a series of challenges, not a series of difficulties and problems and loss. There are some loss cards in the Akashic because loss is a part of our growth and loss is a part of the temporal world. You know, the Buddha says all suffering comes from the loss of what we value only in the temporary world. So anyway, so what we have here is an understanding that we are in a phase of challenges and some obstructions to our goals, but there are things happily, this card is reversed because this literally tells us there are things in our healing that we haven't heard of or haven't tried yet. And when I say in our healing, it's also in any healing about work and any healing about relationships and any healing about our journey, any kind of journey. So all we have to do is start to investigate further the things that we can do to absolve the problem, to release the restrictions, and to be able to move within reach of what we wish to achieve. And so what do we do? Let's take this from our reading to our lesson. Because when we have all of this, we have an understanding. Of course, this did not surprise me, you guys, because we are deep into a Mercury retrograde that is like making my hair turn gray even more than it is. I know my hair is red, but but underneath, anyway. So it doesn't surprise me because Mercury retrograde can really just play a hellacious role in tripping things up and obstructions and that type of thing, especially in communication endeavors too. So here's what we do when we get cards that indicate that we're in the midst, in the actual throes of a challenge, concern, in situations in our lives where we feel we don't have the ability at hand, or the strength, or even inner courage at hand to change the situation at this moment in time. And here's what you do when you get these cards. I know I had 3 cards, so I pulled 2 more, but then you pull 3 more cards for on top of this. What's going to grow out of this? What's coming up through the groundwork of this concern? And here are the 3 cards that I pulled. The first one is Sangha, the community. The second card I pulled after that was the King of Keys. And the third card after that was the Bird's Nest. And look, all upright. It's kind of funny. It's like, and you guys, I didn't change this. I didn't change the order. I didn't change the upright or the reverse. This is exactly as they come. I always tell the Akashic Tarot to let me know exactly what I have to talk about. And so automatically we see some of the things that the divine physician tells us we can find to do to heal the situation. Whatever the situation is for you, it could be different for, I'm certain there are a number of you watching, and more of you to come. And some of you might be having difficulties in a relationship. Some of you might be having difficulties at work or finding work. Some of you might be having difficulties in your spiritual evolution, in your development of your psychic, mediumistic, or healing resources. There's so many different ways these obstacles and challenges can come forward in our life. But isn't it a happy thing when we're told that our divinity can come through and lead us to other opportunities to let this go? And here they are when we lay 3 more cards down on top of the challenging cards, we get the answers that we're looking for. The first one, saying to the community, there are people around you that can give you some support and some help in this, in all that you're doing, in all that you're seeking. And even if it is a challenge with a relationship and you just need to talk to somebody about it, there's someone in your community that can be helpful. And then we have the King of Keys. And this is actually it actually implies 2 different things. First of all, it tells us that there is a male that is in authority, a state of authority that can be helpful with the situations that we're looking at here, okay? But beyond that as well, the King of Keys is the civil authority in the Akashic Tarot. He has the keys to the land. He owns the castles. But he's a benevolent king. See how he's smiling as he returns from his travels. So one of the things that you can do, and look at, there's always relationship to the cards. You can find tap more of your strength by getting support through your community, support through your friends, support through your people. You can help move through the obstruction by finding your own King of Keys within, the authority and strength within you, taking ownership of all that you have and are capable of manifesting. So at the very literal level, this is a man who can be helpful to you in this situation. But also in terms of our karmic level, oh, excuse me, I forgot to undo that. I always have to remember to do that. And in terms of our karmic level, we have to find the authority within us to take charge. Now, under Mercury retrograde, we may not feel like taking charge, and that's okay. We cannot push a river. We have to move through the winter phases of our emotions and our life and our activity and not fight the energies that abound. But as we move through this situation, we can find the authority, the inner authority, to take the power back and move through the obstruction. And when we do that, what happens? We move right into the bird's nest, the 3 of forces. Forces are energy, forces are power. And this is a whole new birth. The bird's nest, you can see the mother bird feeding the little hungry baby birds. And this is giving way through our authority, through our support system, into a whole new birth. And the ascent card that is reversed here, that this rests on, means that while we might not have been able to create the achievement that we wanted as it was previously designed by us, we can create a whole new birth of this endeavor in some, perhaps in the same way, or even perhaps in a different way. But we have to get our authority first, okay? So there you are. Don't be dismayed and don't be challenged right now if you're having a Mercury retrograde where you feel like your feet are stuck in the mud and you can't get all the movement that you would like to make. Go ahead and let that go. You don't have to worry about anything at all, because when you seek outside yourself for your community, get the support that you need. Even sometimes we all have a moment of vulnerability. And many moments of vulnerability. And when we find our own inner authority and also allow this wonderful, helpful, compassionate man to help us with our work, we clear the way and we create a whole new nest, a whole new support of nurturing and birth of the endeavors that we want to make real, that were troubling us or challenging us before. So take heart, everyone. If you have any kind of concerns this week, don't worry that all of your strength is coming to you. Get back to your inner authority. Get back to the support that you have that's around you from your friends and your loved ones and your meditation groups and all of the groups to which you belong. And get back to the task of giving yourself a new birth every single day. And I thank you all also for participating and going to Amazon.com. Those of you that have gotten the Akashic Tarot, I'm very happy and proud to say that we have become, we're still #1 new release in the tarot. We were #1 bestseller in the tarot within days of its coming out, and it's doing fantastically in the Hay House Christmas campaign. So I just want to thank you all for your support, and know that if you want to take a touch in with the Akashic Tarot, you will be able to find some of the secrets that are hidden for you as well. So God bless you, everybody, and we will come back to you next Thursday. I believe it'll be at 12:30 Eastern Time, thereabouts. And thank you all, and have a wonderful and blessed day.